I don't think I do these so often, but when a game comes out this good, and with the positive responses from last replay videos, figured I'd do another one. This channel was originally kind of built on, well, some off-meta guides and a lot of replay commentaries, so hey, we can come back to it every once in a while. We're using Blood Moon because attack speed Thresh looks absolutely hilarious with Blood Moon, for reasons that may or may not come up in this replay. Because I'm pretty sure I couldn't resist putting in the KDA in the thumbnail, you may have already seen it. I will hopefully on screen if I remember it, if I don't slap me. Here's a screenshot of the Professor match summary, which is not sponsored by the way. Just to show the kind of, it's a normal draft game, which is why you can have such sporadic kind of matchmaking. Here we see that the Ahri on the enemy team is quite their MVP, and ours, I believe, is a Seraphine, just going by memory. But I'm hiding everyone's scores except mine. But you can kind of imagine, with a title, a thumbnail, and an quote-unquote interesting game like this, why that might be. First of all, we have a Tryndamere spinning out of a bush to deal a little cheesy damage. In my recent gameplay, I've been exceptionally tired, so a lot of my mechanics are really bad. Like, I miss flays all the time, I miss minions, I miss cannons, it's very sad. But I have had a lot of conscious effort directed towards lane and wave management. I'm not the best person to turn to for a tutorial, and I believe on a bus the other day I watched one by Nice for top lane wave management, and that was quite helpful. In any case, against this Tryndamere, we have him just kind of permanently pushing. A few things I figured out from gameplay is that it's much easier to just harass the enemy if they're already pushing, because when you harass the enemy with an auto attack or a single target spell, it causes their minions to attack you, which will in turn cause your minions to deal more DPS to the enemy minions, which in turn is going to push it towards them. If they're already pushing it, then chances are they're going to have more of a significant impact. Here you can see me missing minions, very fun. Them pushing directly is going to have more of a significant impact, especially if you're kind of moving back into the bush or so on. We can see the enemy's pings, unfortunately, in this replay, and we can see that they've apparently pinged our bear in the jungle. Now, again, in the thumbnail, I think there is a quote from the chat where it's going to say something like Thresh solo carried, but I have to give credit where credit is due. First of all, in any game, no matter how bad everyone performs, everyone does contribute something. Even that terrible Amumu in one of the videos the other week. I mean, he's the one who killed the Nexus. Spoilers. But despite how much he wanted to absolutely lose the game, there's that. And also, the bear, played by JJ, is going to contribute quite significantly to this game and is definitely undervalued. I say that just as he gets free-man ganked by his own blue buff. It's a bit sad. I think, who did that go to? First Blood? Ahri. So Ahri gets a blue buff, and Ahri being their MVP, I think our Lux is the opposite of an MVP. No offense, she was quite nice. In fact, this team was quite nice. I don't mind players being absolutely terrible so long as they're not, you know, annoying about it, like the Amumu. Ude comes in for a, can we call it a gank? I don't know. He walks in and then walks back out. We're still farming. We're ahead in CS right now, and as you can see, we have a bit of a push going here with the cannon minion, and Tryndamere takes this opportunity to try and give me a bit of a fight in my wave. When I have a cannon and he doesn't, I pop Ghost just so I can keep up with him and hopefully get his flash. Here we go, one attack, then it will take 2 attacks from here. He flashes and the auto still goes through because Thresh is ranged, and I actually... Can ranged autos be cancelled? Even though it's no projectile? I feel like ranged autos can't be cancelled like melees can, even if you run out of range. I mean, sometimes they do, I don't know, it's weird. If anyone knows more about auto attack mechanics, because we know they're very confusing, at least in League of Legends instead of World Rift, then that's really bad. And as you can see, I kind of autopilot push the wave, and I just kind of succumb to the Tiger Deer right here. I will waste a little time, and the minions do die to the turret, which is XP for Ude. And it's now in a nice position for Tryndamere here, but as you can see, he's just going to push the wave, which... yeah, my lane opponent might not be the best. A lot of people always point out, I figured I'd like to talk about this at some point, and it will be talked about in the guide, which for the Twitch viewers already know roughly, I've hinted at it a lot, about when it's going to be dropping. And that's going to be a year after So same date as the one-shot guide from last year, and it's the same kind of caliber, hopefully. I haven't actually done any work on it yet. I'm just halfway through the script, and I'm trying to plan it out as well as I can, given everything else going on right now. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about is Thresh's weaknesses in terms of wave management, in terms of pushing, freezing, etc. Because if an enemy, let's say Darius or Aurelia, does freeze it near their own turrets, that's a bad place for any laner to be. But with Thresh, who is very weak against champions who can dash twice, who can, you know, use move speed to slow the enemy, and are strong duelists, that is a terrible, terrible place for Thresh to be. And you can say things like maybe you can go roam, maybe you can go get a gank, because Thresh is actually quite good at that as a gamble, and then you're missing out on XP if it fails, and it's really, really bad. What you can try is to bait out fights, bait out AoEs, for example, make an Aurelia try to stun what is left of your wave, so it kind of helps push out. You can try to break the freeze, but Thresh is terrible at this. If you get Titanic Hydra, but usually this will happen way before you even back, so yeah, it's a very weak position to be, and the best case scenario is to just not be there in the first place. And one of the only counters that most champions can do that aren't powerful juggernauts and duelists and bruisers is to get a jungler to come in, or even a mid laner, just to push the wave in. Because if there's two of you, they can't just kill you, hopefully. And yeah, again, you might want to watch someone else for wave management tutorials. I will never give you like the in-depth on it. But if you want to play Thresh top and you want to, or any kind of off-meta top laner, brush up on these kind of universal basics. I guess it's not basics anymore in talking about wave management. Given how most people I see play, I wouldn't call it basics, but if you can improve on all the fundamentals, then your off-metas are all going to be better, and you have a much better time kind of participating against meta champs. And if that's good enough for someone like ahri to play at Challenger, then who's to say we can't play it below Challenger outside of Korea? Yeah. All in all, play whatever you want to play. And if you need help in terms of things like fundamentals or any kind of edge over your opponent, they're a good place to start. And they'll help with every champion you play, so it's always good to know. Top lane it seems really easy from the outside, but there's actually quite a lot to it purely because it's so basic. It's a long lane, so there's plenty of ways to manipulate the wave, unlike mid, where it's much shorter. It's usually quite abandoned, so you don't have as much kind of gank synergies. But I say that, Volibear's coming around the corner right now. Tryndamere did spot Volibear, but I guess he just assumed Volibear wouldn't come back. Now, he's going to go through there, he's going to walk past. Our volley does have a habit of dancing. And unfortunately, Tryndamere is going to be able to art onto his turret because he was able to get that extra distance, so I can't catch up and hook or something. That said, he's going to get greedy for the minions here and completely disrespect what a Thresh can do from a distance with range, with Flay. He saw that low HP cannon minion and thought it would be much more embarrassing to miss it than to die. You're going to go ahead and take 2 plates. Try and take out this cannon wave as well, that's so our cannon wave can come in. Get even more damage because we are 2 levels up of Tryndamere. We have our Vamp Scepter for sustain already. Also, we haven't talked about runes. We're running Fleet Footwork. We'll talk about every single rune you can play on Thresh top in the guide. But at least I hope I do if I remember to put it in the script. But it is very, like, he can run so many he can run so many runes. And Fleet is definitely one of the best ones. It's something like Grasp kind of buffs your poking and gives you some sustain as well. Something like Lethal Tempo buffs your late game and your DPS. Something like Pressy Attack boosts your early game, your burst. But none of them, except Grasp a little bit, help with Thresh's main weaknesses. And good players will take advantage of your weaknesses all the time. So even though ahri doesn't take Fleet Footwork, believe me, Fleet Footwork can make a lot of Thresh matchups way easier. It's really easy for Dr. Mundo to keep poking you with the cleaver hitbox, let's say, and the E through the minion wave. It's really easy for range top laners to hit you a bit more because most of them outrange you. And it's really easy for someone like Set to try and close the gap. all of these can be kind of fixed by fleet footwork. It's a really good rune in top lane. It's weaker unranged, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's still the case. And it does scale with AD, so it's not bad at all. We're going shield bow. I'm a big fan of this build. It does take, it's a little trickier and it's a little riskier. If you get like hard camped and you haven't finished shield bow, you are going to be behind, and much more so than you would if you bought a different item. I spend a lot of time building things like Wit's End these days. Sorry, I hit my mouse. But shield bow is a pretty good alternative, especially against non-magic damage opponents like Tryndamere, but it's very expensive. And not all of the stats are so totally helpful straight up. The 20% crit isn't amazing. You can try to use that with a Rage Blade as soon as possible, but more likely you're going to want Wit's End because magic damage is going to appear, like this Ahri who's 2-0 right now. And even on a hybrid champion like Yone, who only builds AD, he's going to have some magic damage that scales with AD, which is ridiculous, by the way. No champion is going to have magic damage that scales with AD, right? Yeah, so that was a joke because Thresh has it. Anyway. Most of this is farming. Some people complain about there being too much farming in these, so let's speed up. We're kind of getting a bigger wave to push over there. Gives us more time. Tryndamere is going to sit over there. This is a... Yeah, this is a crit Tryndamere. There was another game against an AP Tryndamere, which felt really weird. I think that was on stream. I'm not sure. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We're going to have a cheeky little roam down bot lane, because bot lane don't seem to be doing too hot, and I've got plenty of time, given that we pushed Tryndamere so far back. I was initially waiting for a gank, but it looks like they've backed, so we're going to go ahead, push this turret. Hopefully gives them some freedom. Now the enemy, they are just like, oh, the tower is going to protect us. No, there's a Thresh here. Senna gets absolutely bursted. Ezreal's going to get absolutely DPS down. I cancelled an auto, very nice. We've got Ghost who wants to keep up. Ghost on Thresh is so good. If you aren't sold on it yet, first of all, get some practice with Thresh Top if you've never played it before. Then take Ghost. We're going to use our teleport to go back. This is something I'd like to experiment. I mean, I did like to experiment with a bit when I was trying to improve at top lane stuff in terms of affecting the game, and that was to roam after a push and then teleport back, as opposed to teleporting down and then they push as hard as they can and you're just kind of crawling back up to top lane and then they get your tower. Wait for Tryndamere to reappear. He does not, so I'll go ahead, continue farming. Tryndamere is found down there. I move. If I could see into the future, maybe we'd see that, but really need to move. Might have missed about like 1 or 2 minions of XP there, I'm not too sure. Rift Herald spawns, we pushed up top, so that's fine, I'm going for it. But Volibear is caught in a fight with the Udyr. Now, if you don't know anything about Udyr, because no one plays him, he does a lot of damage, and this Udyr has built a Kraken Slayer, and he gets the bear stun there to stop the last fatal auto or W from Volley. Luckily, no one checks Baron. Kind of lucky I would have to run away, and I don't even have Ghost. I do have, however... Okay, I don't have Box, but I had Flay, and that's more than enough to keep an Udyr off you for some amount of time. But yeah, very squishy build from Udyr, something that may come back to haunt him. Our Platinum Ahri is here with the Ludens, the Sork Boots going into, what is that, Horizon Focus? What's that build into? I forgot. I think it's Horizon. No, she doesn't build that. She doesn't use that this game. No clue. Anyway. You can kind of see the beginnings of the stats for this game. I'm 4-1 and everyone else is either 0 with deaths or 1 with deaths in the case of Morgana, who is a support. Classic. The enemies seem to mostly have given their kills to Udyr and Ahri on their ganks, for example. I do kind of cheekily push this out. Not exactly neglecting them, but I really wanted this pushed out. I could have given the farm to them. Some people will argue, yeah, the farm's better on me because I'm playing better or whatever, but whatever. It's kind of a dick move in the normal games, you could say. Here we have a bunch of low health enemies. We ghost in. Let's see what we can achieve. I tried to hook onto the red buff. I do. 1 auto. Bam. I'll take this red buff for myself as well. Whilst Tryndamere tries to get away. Red buff is applied. He is slowed. We catch up with that. He activates his own ghost, and he is going to burn from the red. It's a good thing we took that. Ultimate on the Ezreal. This forces him to take some extra damage. We're going to get the Flay using the Ezreal as a Q target. Want to chase the Ahri, but we know she's got ult, and she does pop it. Trying to get some extra hits on Senna, but I am so scared of this. Skill shots. I hate Senna's W with all my heart. And I hate Ahri's charm. Who doesn't? Who doesn't hate stuns? It's not like we're playing a champion that has plenty of it. Dropping the Herald to mid. You're gonna get 2 hits on the Herald, and one of them does get us a tower. That's really nice. Ude runs away, trying to stay behind a bit. I might be 7-1, and I might be a top laner with good amounts of XP, level 13 right now to Tryndamere's 12. But I am built with shield bow, which is defensive. But all it takes is 1 too many stuns, and I will be dead in a heartbeat. So we position back, we back off. We keep this shutdown bonus unused. Confidently recall in front of him. We got Wit's End, and this is going to help a lot against Ahri. Ah, Shadow Flame. Yes, that does build out of ult data. I was looking at Ahri's items. We also have Berserker's Greaves. This is one of the best ways to get attack speed on Thresh without, like in normal terms, when you're building your Sunfire or Frostfire. You don't really have the kind of opportunity cost there to get attack speed items. Most attack speed items you don't want to build. This time we're building plenty of it. We're basically an AD carry in the top lane, but we get armor for free. And we are using the shield bow to get some extra health out of the shield and to get some lifesteal. I feel like this definitely has a lot of potential. I said it in the last video we built this on, even though we just beat the crap out of Cho'Gath. And I feel like there's a lot of snowball potential in an AD build. With Wit's End, with the 40 AD since Season 11, that's definitely gotten better. I Q directly onto the minions, because that's harder for them to see coming, I guess. And I do get some nice hits on Ezreal. They poke back, but with that infinite scaling armor, it's hard for them to really do damage. Without the Divine Sundra, Ezreal is not going to hurt me that much until he gets his Lord Dominic's. Ahri coming in, and now I go for the Ahri. And we're going to take so many stuns. What was I just saying earlier? Ude's damage so high, but I'm so desperate to kill Ahri. And you know, it looked like I just cancelled an auto that would have been her downfall there. But like I said, my mechanics aren't the best today. We get a kill on Ude, which is still a shutdown, right? No, it is not. So I give a massive shutdown, unfortunately, to the Ahri. She's going to get even bigger. She's 6-0. I always hate it when there's like some kind of ranged mobile champ that you really want to kill for their shutdown or because they're the MVP or whatever, and they always get away with 1 HP. Even landed a box combo on her, but we all know Ahri is just so mobile. Noticing her absolute prowess in this situation, we buy a Spectre's Cowl, and this can go into either Spirits or it can go into EQ onto the minion. Okay, nothing happens. This can build either to Spirit or Abyssal Mask. Both are very good. She still clearly has ult. I think that's what that means when she's glowing. Ude with the Kraken Slayer just running in, doing lots of nothing because he got stunned. That is, like, you gotta go tanky so you can at least, like, live. Like, if it takes you 1 second to be killed by someone's DPS, that was... and you're stunned for 1 second, that means that a stun of 1 second is all it takes to kill you, and that's hilariously common. If it takes you 3 seconds to kill you, and you're stunned for 1 second, you're probably going to survive. Hit that. The good thing is, even though our mages, let's call them, are behind, they still do provide a lot of poke and kind of suppressing fire in these kind of ARAM situations. Now we have what is called a Chad Baron. All the enemies are alive. We have nothing really but a control ward for vision. We got a ward here, a ward up here. Our team do not believe. But we're doing it anyway. We've got the damage in Thresh, we've got the tankiness in Volibear, and we're going to go ahead and smite that. The enemy team is none the wiser. Because they wanted Dragon. It wasn't appearing on the map for some reason, I think. Replays do be like that. Sometimes it doesn't show teleport particles, sometimes it doesn't show recall. It's really weird. But it's the least you can expect from a small indie company. Here we have Tryndamere, who I forgot was in the match, with a Navary Quickblade. Traditionally, Tryndameres do like to spin. Ahri quite strong. Ezreal kind of behind on that Mana Money. Do Ezreal's build tier late or something? I don't know. Well, maybe he's not the best thing to judge Ezreal's on. Senna looking 116, very support-ish with her 2 lethality items so far. Don't worry, I know that this is just how the game works now. Like, we've got the Anvries on the Morgana, and when I play Thresh support, I build AD as well. I think that's really funny, and if you want to see more of that, please do leave a comment. It is pretty funny. I have a lot more fun on that than I do with traditional support Thresh. Obviously, I don't think it's better. I've heard people saying that Thresh support is quite bad right now. Hey, maybe he needs some AD. You never know. We don't have the stats. Until we have 20 million games of Thresh support with AD being built, we'll never have proper data. I'm not saying go do it. It's your time. Right. We're 8-2-2. We had a kind of bad death against Ahri and their team earlier. We definitely went too ham. Giving this to the Seraphine is wasted on me. Even if it's XP and gold, it's wasted on me. Seraphine with a Liandry's. Sure, she's not fed in really any way. But that's going to be a lot of suppressing fire. All good poke. And again, we can use it in our ARAM situations. We can use it to defend towers. We can use it to siege towers. And Morgana always did this thing where she followed me around. I don't know if it's because she wanted minions. She has 50 CS despite having the pokey support mythic. So maybe she wanted the farm for herself. I don't know. I didn't feel like the Morgana hated me. Maybe she did. I don't know. Tryndamere split pushing as usual. That's probably why we never see Tryndamere. Just about missed the hook despite it being a Morgana Q. Must have had some kind of tenacity rune maybe. Into this team comp it would make a lot of sense. Do chase the Tryndamere a little bit far. Especially because he's Tryndamere with the haste. And Gale Force. I'm pretty sure he used everything there. He used Flash and everything. Drake in 30 seconds. Baron in a minute and a half. Here we have the enemy team and we're like, hey. We could do something here. Approach from the back. Hit the Ahri. Where can she escape? Not really anywhere. Maybe over the wall. Maybe she didn't have ult. Get the hook on Ezreal, and as you can see, everything's going just fine from here. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to answer the door. Right. I mean, this is a normal game. Remember, don't take these kind of things too seriously. They are just for fun, really, and how hard or soft people choose to play is up to them. This could be not even Ahri's final form, for example. And I know that some guy is going to comment, well, I'm Diamond, this Ahri is terrible, he's only plat 4 or some shit like you. Okay, man. Whatever you say. Focusing on everything that isn't Ahri just because Ahri is extremely hard to hit. Ahri is a fairly high damage champion, but compared to some other mages, not so much. A lot of her power budget is going to be in those crazy amount of dashes and the charm. So if I just avoid that and kill the rest of the team, that's actually quite good. This is counterplay that was really needed back in season 3 to 4 when Blue Ezreal came out, which is what we now know as kind of normal Ezreal. When they bought Frostfire Gauntlets, Frozen Heart, Mirror Mana, and stuff. Here you can see, this is a real Chad Baron. The enemy's nowhere here. Morgana's pinging us off, but does come to help in the end. And eune comes in. But someone smited wrong, and fresh AD attacks her. Regardless, this tankless eune is going to be going down right here. Who smited wrong? Eune smited wrong. Smite wars always come down to who messes up, really, and given that it no longer scales with level, it's always 900, it's almost chance-based if you're not the jungler. If it is, then it feels really shit to miss it, or to mess up like eune did. Okay, let's talk about our items again, shall we? So we did get Abyssal Mask. That's going to increase magic damage by reducing enemy magic resist. I believe that's what it does. Yeah, reducing their magic resist by an amount. We can't get the proper item information. It scales with health as well, which is quite nice. So if you were building tankier, then you could get more value out of it. But just reducing it by 15 is pretty good. That's like a Shadow Flame. It's not bad at all. And more importantly, it also provides health and magic resistance, which are very nice on Thresh. And there's no other ways to really increase our magic damage other than building Void Staff. So, yeah, it's pretty good to go for. We've got Rage Blade as well. That's going to multiply our on-hits from Wit's End, from Souls. We currently have 156 at 34 minutes in the game, with the Immortal Shieldbread crit also contributing to the physical damage on Rage Blade. So we have wonderful on-hit damage and mixed damage. Now, we've been talking about Udyr's very high damage with his Kraken Slayer, his own Rage Blade apparently, and his Essence Reaver. He's even got a Bramble Vest to deal with enemy AD carries. And I don't see any AD carries except me. It looks like he was prepared for the 1v1. It will be a tough battle, as you're about to see. Volibear comes in to inspect. I do reflect that maybe having some minions is a little unfair. That's more than fine. He says, let's go. We all know the kind of damage that a Tiger Deer Udyr can do, and really it's going to be an uphill battle, and he's dead. Okay. The enemies try to take advantage of the 1v1 situation, get some cheeky attacks. Tryndamere is not even going to ultimate. Okay, he didn't have it. We're going to get a Quadra. And Senna is going to walk up graciously in this normal game. However, we're going to make her walk up by going up to her towers. She'll W from afar, she'll walk up a bit too far, but I pressed Ghost, and that is going to lead to the Ooga Booga combo and a pentakill, ending 14-5 in this semi-cluster frick of a game, and Udyr says fresh solo carry. You can choose to believe that, or you can say that this was just a funny normal game, and Uncle Volley. Again, we couldn't have done those Chad Baron calls without the Volibear. That's what I was referring to. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this replay commentary. Not everyone does, but those of you who do, please do hit like and subscribe for future content. Leave a comment, whatever you think about whatever the frick this game was. Normals are cursed, but my ranked are honestly much more cursed. The ranked is literally just, you know, who can flip out first and go AFK. I hate to say that because I hate making excuses, but it really has been that. It must be the summer holidays with all the, like, kids coming on, you were full of G Fuel. I don't know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon in another video, another stream, and maybe even a fresh guide. Thanks for watching. See you next time.